you so much. You don't know how much this means. It will get us through this winter." And he said, "No problem." And I said, "Give me an address and I'll deliver it tomorrow." And he said, "Actually, I don't have any place to put it." This is Oasis, and it's the second time that I've carved her. The first time was the first big sale that we had, and it was called Ever Oasis. And she was carved meticulously all the way to the bottom, very much like a completely finished sculpture with a base and everything. And 10 years later, I wanted to carve her in another style, this sort of metamorphic of coming out of the blocks, showing the natural stone, showing my processes of big breaks and slash cuts, and then letting her metamorphosis into herself.
And what kind of, this is marble, correct?
This is marble. This is Italian marble from Carrara, Italy.
And it was about this big, and you just brought it up from this size right here, the original...
The original block was about an extra 2 feet more stone.
I see.
And I just made a cut and cut off that 2 feet and made another sculpture out of it.
She doesn't have a visible head, correct?
Or does here, she? Yeah. You gotta come to the right side.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Wow. Now...
It's all about the mystery of woman. She's very much woman. She's a lot of woman. But she's got the veil over her, so,
And that looks very much like fabric, and it's hard marble.
It is.
This is what?
It's the piece that launched the ship. This is the first piece that I did with Sandy, and we sold it through a New York gallery. It sold for about $250,000. We got $100,000.
Oh, so this was the piece that got you to go to
Italy.
Staked you to Italy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was we went there, made this piece, and that funded the rest of our
20 years.
20 years there. Well, I got it started. Yeah. Sandy went away to a woman's retreat for 3 weeks in August and said, all you have to do, John, is take care of Allegra, and I'll see you later. Have fun. And during that 3 weeks, the local town offered up like a symposium, an on-site carving type of situation where they gave you a block of marble if you would come and carve it in public for a week. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to carve a big piece, and they were giving the stone away. So I found a babysitter for Allegra. And I paid her, I said, she was a good friend of ours. She spoke Italian and English perfectly. And I said, I'll pay you $1,000 if you take care of Allegra for this week while I carve. And so I carved this. And Sandy came home from her retreat, and she found out what happened. And she said, you paid what, $1,000 for you only had to take care of the kid for a short time, and you reneged, and you paid I said, yeah, but we'll be able to sell the sculpture for more than $1,000, come on, Sandy. And she got over it. She said, I wish you paid me $1,000 for every week I took care of the kid. Several months later, a man was driving around in the maze of streets that we lived in Italy, and he was lost. And he asked for directions. And I gave him directions how to get out, and he noticed from my accent that I wasn't Italian. So he said, what are you doing here? And I said I was a sculptor, and told him he should stop by and see my work. So he came by one day, a few days later, and stopped and looked around my studio space and said, well, which sculpture should I buy? And I said, well, which one do you like? And he said, oh, I like this one. How much is it? And I was flabbergasted, but afraid to ask too much, afraid to ask not enough. And I said, it's $15,000. And he said, fine, is it done? I said, no, would like to actually work on it a little bit more. And he said, well, why don't I pay you half now and I'll come back and pay you the other half later. He took out his checkbook and he wrote me out a check for $7,500. I came back to dinner that night with the check and said, look, Sandy, we sold that sculpture. And I went ahead and finished it and got the base made. And he came back about a month later and said, is it done? I said, yes, here it's done. Look. And he took out his checkbook and wrote out another check for $7,500 and handed it to me. And I said, thank you so much. You don't know how much this means. It will get us through this winter. And he said, no problem. And I said, give me an address and I'll deliver it tomorrow. And he said, actually, I don't have any place to put it. You just keep it and sell it again.
His name?
Signor Gentili, Constance Gentili.
Constance Gentili.
How did you get this back here?
Well, when we moved, when we left Italy, I knew if I left sculptures in Italy, they'd disappear.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So I created everything up and spent a fortune moving everything back.